Welcome back to Saturday Night Ladies, where we're here to talk about the last episode before the Olympics on NBC, episode 12 of season 51 with Alexander Skarsgard and Cardi B. I am Deej Behrens.
I'm Shari Fesco. And I'm Devin Constantine.
And we are your Saturday Night Ladies. General thought, that was such an improvement from last week. Such a big improvement.
Yes.
Oh, last week, there's going to be lots of positivity tonight as opposed to last week's podcast. So we'll let our director of episode rundown, Sherry, take over with things. Get your big dumb cup, put on your big dumb hat, and let's talk about Saturday Night Live.
Oh, let's talk about it indeed. And yes, this was a big turnaround. I'm making a circle in the air for those of you who cannot see, because this was a huge 360 after last week's stumble.
Turnaround episode. They got such a better host than sketches. That didn't work.
Oh, yes, it worked. It was definitely a turnaround. Very nice, Deej. I love our musical interludes. Anyways, this was definitely a turnaround. And we had Mr. Alexander. I was calling him Andrew. That's wrong. It's Alexander Skarsgard. And he's one of apparently 6 sons. And they're all actors. I just find that crazy, but okay. And they're all really talented too. I think like they all have like pretty good careers. I couldn't name all of them, but I know there are a bunch. I didn't know there were 7. So that was my lesson. Our musical guest, Ms. Cardi B. So this was an interesting lineup. I know Mr. John Schneider over at the Saturday Night Network felt like this was a bit of a letdown for the 1000th episode, but I think he was pleasantly surprised, as was I. So let's get things started with the cold open. It was the ICE meeting. We talked last week about the omission after the events in Minnesota, which had happened earlier in the day on Saturday, and the fact that they didn't really focus in. I think they just didn't know how to handle it so last minute, maybe. Nobody really knows. But they started off with the ICE meeting and Pete Davidson as Tom Homan. I do not know my politics. I'm sure Deej knows who Tom Homan is. I had no idea.
No, because that's American politics. I would not know who this guy is.
But you still know stuff that I don't know about American politics often.
Not really. More Canadian, but I know enough that what ever gets across on the TV. So.
I was very happy to see Pete, and I thought he did an excellent job, and he interacted with ICE agents. I did not know, but I thought I found out he just took over whatever position, and apparently he just took over, and he's interacting with these ICE agents, Jadge, Mikey, Ben, Andrew, and Jeremy. And they're all clueless, which I hear is not far from the truth. And comedy ensued. I don't have too much to say, except it was really nice to see Jadge in a different role other than Trump in the cold open. I thought it a clever way to address a very serious issue. And yeah, I thought it was perfectly pleasant, as Dee just said in the past, when she can't quite put a word on it. It was entertaining. I was glad the issue was addressed. I thought all of the agents did a terrific job interacting with Pete, and it was great to see Pete back and in a role that was really perfect for him.
Alexander is the second Skarsgard to host, back in season 31, episode 11, where we had Peter Skarsgard as Trump-free. Cold open was everything I could have ever wanted because it was Trump-free. I love the way the guys were playing the agents, and we're getting a lot of really good actors in the cast right now. Ben, in this and the Viking sketch we'll talk about later, he was really doing some good stuff there. A lot of the jokes landed. One thing I've always found weird is this whole concept of a border czar. Like, what the heck is that supposed to mean? I think that was originally some sort of insult that Trump or someone came up with during the Biden administration, I seem to remember. It's like the Secretary of the Border or something like that. I liked the nice change and seeing Pete. And as they mentioned on the Hot Take show, I think because Pete was a different person back then, Like, he was doing a movie with Bill Hader, who recommended him The Lord. I think it was like 1920 at the time. So it does make sense that more these days, since he's matured and has become clean, and now that he has a baby, I think he's matured as a person. So that will translate well into what he's playing on the screen. But his timing was great. Pete was my favorite part about the sketch. About the cold open, I should say.
Yeah, and I guess to close it out, so Tom Homan, Pete did not look anything like Tom Homan. Tried, but I think it was a plus. He is currently the acting border czar, which is like not a confirmed position that does not require approval from the Senate, and that term's been used more frequently, but it's been in use for, I don't know, maybe 12 years or so. I think I heard it before the first Trump presidency, but it was really informal. And you're right, dude. Just like, it's not official. It's like, we're not Russia. So I don't understand why we need to have this term. But he served under Obama and Trump as the acting director of the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. And then Trump has recruited him back. And he's been a hardliner since the beginning. He said families, children, we're not going to separate them. We'll send them back home to wherever they came from with their parents. Like, he's been saying that since Trump was elected, but even before he was inaugurated. So he's a hardliner. Know that Pete is softening him up, but I did like that they made the border agent asking really stupid questions that are not actually, for anyone who's like, oh, it's too late now. No, ICE is moving to Springfield, Ohio. There are still protests going on in Minnesota. As we speak, in the bitter cold, there are still people outside protesting in Detroit. I get headlines from the Detroit Free Press. This is not going away. This is not papered over with PR. So I am definitely in the camp where I don't think this was too late. I think this was a really sharp address to what's going on. And then I'm really glad I referenced Don Lemon, because he was arrested for doing independent journalism coverage in the church. You can have opinions on that however you want to have opinions on it, but he was covering it. He was not part of the riot. He was not part of any violence, whatever riot people are characterizing word they're using. So I'm glad they brought that up. I'm glad they brought up everything. I'm glad Pete was there. And I was glad to see them handle it the way they did.
This is a lot of reasons why I have not been back to the U.S. since this whole thing started, because I'm quite terrified as to what would happen going down there. Now, it's been okay since my boyfriend has gone down to see his parents in the Seattle area. He's always come back fine, but I just don't want to risk it. And what really gets me, there's a cross-border program called the Nexus Pass. And so when I first got my Nexus Pass, the pandemic happened. So it's 3 years or so I could not use my pass because couldn't go over the border. And once again, I renewed my Nexus Pass, thinking that, okay, go down for cheap gas, different flavors of Dr. Pepper that I can get there. But then all this stuff happened. So it's like I spent all that money to renew the thing, and I was like, I could use it. But I'm choosing not to because I just do not feel safe.
And neither do I, Deej, but
don't blame you.
I hope that you can eventually wander back on over and not worry about it, because you shouldn't have to.
Well, I love to have you guys up here, especially Debbie, since I know she loves Hot Rod. We can go on a location tour.
I would die.
It's on my list, Deej. I'm coming up there one of these days. It's on my list. Okay, monologue. And I skipped ahead too. I think I'm so excited about the Winter Olympics that I'm just zooming ahead, because I do love the Winter Olympics. And I'll tell you, Deej, while we're talking Canada, I love y'all's coverage. It's so wonderful. I love your coverage of the Olympics. I do not like the U.S. ethnocentric bullshit. It's just too much for me. I love my country, but it's too much.
Are you getting it from the CBC?
Yeah, and I love their coverage. It is far superior to NBC's. In my opinion, only my opinion. To the monologue where Mr. Skarsgard acknowledges the 1000th episode, which I know made Mr. John Schneider over at the Saturday Night Network very happy, because he was a little bit, I won't say grumpy, because I don't think John gets grumpy, but he was worried that they weren't going to give it the acknowledgement that they should because of the 50th just having passed and blah, blah, blah. But they did acknowledge it, and I was absolutely delighted to see them acknowledge the band. It is about mother freaking time. The band, 50 years, and most of those folks, or at least half of them, have been 30, 40 years. I know Lenny Pickett, the saxophonist, has been on for like almost as long as I can remember. And then there's a young lady who I think is newer. She looked young to me, but everybody looks young to me, with the guitar. I was thrilled to see her get a lot of attention because, women, and they never give women enough attention on SNL and basically in the entertainment industry and basically, in everything. So I was very happy to see her get a nice little spotlight during Mr. Skarsgard's monologue. And I thought it was hilarious. I think he's very self-deprecating. I really enjoy his sense of humor. And I just thought he just seems so relaxed and easygoing, and he really interacted with the band wonderfully. So I thought it was a really nice start.
They have not had anything in the opening credits montage for like a long time. What's it? Lenny Pickett became the band leader in 1985. He's also played with the Tower of Power, and also he tours with Billy Joel. I have great respect for Lenny, great respect for the band. I mean, what would the band home base be without the band? And they're nice and game to play along for jokes. Alexander, totally charming. I wish he had like a bigger like confetti popper for the 1000, because like unless they purposely did that with the game one that didn't quite, or maybe it was a misfire. I don't know. And man, is he tall? He is like there's a lot of him. And it's all great. And I loved him on True Blood, and also the one brief scene in Zoolander when the models were having the gas fight. So yeah, no, the cold open was wonderful. I liked it. Showed a lot of his personality, and yay, the band gets some attention.
Agree. You can tell he was really truly a fan, and that he probably did. I believe that he actually did watch the band, because so many people do, and I really loved that it went meta, and it was part fan service, part fan fiction, part and then fake playing instruments on SNL. I love it so much. It's so sticky, and they don't do it a lot, but when they do it, it makes me so happy. When they're like, when he took a drink of water while playing the saxophone, I love it. I love that stuff so much. Great monologue.
I'm glad we all enjoyed the monologue. That was so fun. So we're off to a really strong start with a decent cold open and a fun monologue. And that leads us to our live sketch, our first one of the night, Mom Confession, with the lovely Ashley Padilla with her kids and her husband, Mr. Skarsgard, Mr. Alexander Skarsgard as the husband, with the children, Andrew, Sarah, and Jane lined up on the couch. And let's just get it right off to the top. This is a Jane superstar night.
Yes.
I mean, she was just shining brightly this episode. I am so happy to see her getting more screen time and more vehicles suited to her talent.
Justice for Jane.
Yes, indeed. I love that my How Great Is Jane shirt that I got from the Not Ready for Primetime project now applies to 2 Janes. So yay. Anyways, so the 3 of them are on the couch, and she's like, okay, let's do some dry runs because I have some big news to share with you. And I don't want you making faces or making comments, blah, blah, blah. So she does a few, oh, my butt fell off. I mean, just silly stuff. And then she drops the bomb on them. She's changed her feelings about the administration, specifically the president. And of course, the kids, who are all fairly progressive, go bananas. And they go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And Dad just wants to go to Red Robin for his birthday. I thought this was terrific. I think this is happening all over America in many households. Those parents are coming around. And I thought this was very, very funny. And of course, who's the center of this? Our little angel, our little superstar, Miss Ashley Padilla. I mean, she's carrying sketches left and right, and she's basically the Thor of comedy. She can lift it all up in the air above her head. She's amazing. She's incredible, and I'm so happy to see a woman getting this kind of singled out spotlight, as she really deserves it. And she's terrific in here. The kids are great too. Skarsgård doesn't have as much to do, but what he does very well. I love I just want to go to Red Robin. So perfect. So yeah, this was a great live sketch to kick off the night. I enjoyed it very much.
Yes, very much so. Ashley is the master of putting in the right pauses to be able to emphasize that maybe this thing is that. All the beats where it's like, I'm beginning to think that maybe Donald Trump isn't great for our country. When it came to later, when it was during the sequence where it's like, I don't want to hear I told you so. And Dismukes was, they're all like, Jane was like getting kind of angry, and Dismukes was like going, physically shaking. And the one line interplay between Jane and Ashley is like, don't you remember what I said when I came out? Well, I just thought you liked cats. Yes, it was Alexander didn't have much to do, but what he did very well, because he just wants to get his birthday scoop.
I thought it was perfect, and I thought it was perfectly timed. I'm retired military, so I have a lot of military friends on Facebook that did support Trump or do. And even from them, I'm starting to see comments. I don't go on Facebook anymore, really, but when I do, I'm starting to see comments that they're leaving under like Fox News posts, and I'm like shocked because they're like, this is not right to be treating immigrants like this. They did things the right way. The gun ownership things are really, the gun statements about gun ownership and walking with a gun, really big deal. And those things are new. So I don't think this was evergreen. I know some people are saying like too little too late. And it's really not. It's actually right of the moment. Whenever I go on, I know this is like anecdote, but whenever I go on Facebook and I see the Fox News posts, for some reason, that's like the first thing Facebook wants to show me. They know it's going to make me mad. But I've noticed the comment section, it used to be you would scroll, you could not find one comment that was upset about what was going on. And all you would see is like words of praise, like this is great. And then the top comments started becoming like negative. And I actually couldn't believe it. Like the comment section under Fox News articles are different than they were a few months ago. And it's really shocking to see in real time. So I do think this was timely. I do think it was of the moment and really, really well constructed. And I know everyone's been like going on and on about Ashley Padilla. I think she was perfect.
Well, better too late than never.
Yes. That's also true. That's why I'm not, like I said, everything is still going. This is very much an active situation. And the potential change of perspectives by some people is also happening real time based on my social media feeds that I've, been pretty consistently checking. So noticing a deviation is pretty wild. So I think this was actually absolutely of the time, of the moment. And Ashley Padilla, because that's the fear that they're going to say, I was wrong, and they're going to get dumped on, because that's what happens on Reddit. It happens on a lot of social media platforms. So to me, that she did such a precise job of stating, and her use of pauses, like you were saying, Deej, and also Shari, the use of pause is so effective, and she's so good at it that it gives the perfect amount of gravity to what she's saying, even though it's actually a really funny sketch. But it's funny because I think that's actually happening a lot more than it was last month even. And I know Alexander Skarsgard did not have a big role. He's the host. But I kind of love it when the host does a role of service. And also he's not American. So I think he really endeared himself to me because he understood this was a big deal. And he let Ashley Padilla have the spotlight. And I thought it was really funny that he just wants to go to Red Robin and get his scoop. I thought that was great because that's really accurate for a lot of people as well. So I thought that was perfect. I actually don't have a whole lot of notes at all. Perfect.
Okay, so we're just rolling along in a positive direction. And now we get to the pre-tape that I was excited to talk about. And that is the Winter Olympics. I do not do sports, as we discuss here frequently. However, there's just something about the Olympics. I don't know what it is. I'm fascinated. And I'm especially fascinated by things like the luge, which I find very frightening. And I have actually sort of done not quite the luge, but like a toboggan that's sort of similar. And that was scary. So, so I have a lot of respect. And Jane, we talked about this being Jane Knight's Justice for Jane. She is the loser who does not want to be the loser. And then we have Marcelo and Chloe. Chloe's the ice skater. Marcelo's the snowboarder. And of course, they're jazzed and they're ready to go. And Jane is just like, I don't want to go. What fun this was. What fun. And it looks so real again. Props to the film units. They made this look so professional. This looked like an NBC spot that they've been doing nonstop, as they always do during the Olympics. So I just thought this looked so professional. I thought everybody was on their marks. I loved Alexander Skarsgard as the coach who can't get her to get in the luge. And she just has the right body type. I love it. I love the whole thing. Loved it from beginning to end. No surprise, I believe this was my favorite sketch of the night. And it Jane was just so perfect here. Her facial expressions, her body language, everything said, why am I doing this? And I just loved it. So I am ready to throw it over to Deej now that I've done my gushing.
I think my favorite line from the whole thing is you can set a dead body down on this with the same body type. It'll have the same effect. Just the reluctance, and it's just that you do not want to do that. And Alexander say, but look, there's a spider to try and get her go down. So just she had the same kind of emphatic kind of delivery as the other two did, but it was more on the, I don't want to do this. It's only because I have a particular body type as they're making me do this. And luge to me is just freaking scary. And with the Winter Olympics, which Vancouver/Whistler hosted back in 2010, the one sport I don't understand is the biathlon. How does cross-country skiing and target shooting with a rifle correlate to a sport? Although lots of people may say, why is curling a sport, which is basically shuffleboard on ice, but curling is very Canadian. Originally in Scotland, but very Canadian. But no, this was so wonderful. Everyone was great. But Jane, it's just nice to see her getting some good stuff in.
I completely concur. And there are two things that I wanted to bring up about this. One, I don't know if anyone's seen Seinfeld, and I'm telling you for the last time, the stand-up special he did that's like regarded as many as like iconic. And he has a whole bit in there about the Olympic. I love it when nations get involved. And he has a little bit about the involuntary luge. You can be in luge and not even realize you're in it. You can just get shoved down. It's like, when the bobsled, you have a sled, but in the luge, it's just bob. So I thought that was, I don't know. I know he's not the first person or the only person to make that joke, but about the luge. But it is like an iconic run he had on his stand-up. So I wonder if that had anything to do with that. Because it seemed like this sketch was a whole drawn out pantomime of that bit. And so first of all, I loved this pre-tape so much production value through the roof. But what I loved most about it was almost like Jane was fantastic in this. It was like playing to all of her strengths, and I thought it was just perfect. But it was almost, I don't know if you ladies will agree or not, but it was almost like she was describing her time on SNL. Like she was like, it was like a meta, like I just got put in there, like ready to go. Here you go. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, oh, nope, not your choice. You're here. So it almost seemed like, to me, it was like a meta commentary on what people think Jane's performance thus far. Because I think the way they talk about her like she's a dead body on the cast. Like, she's not adding anything. Like, they can't, and like, it was like her, like, I don't want to be here. It was so watching it with that lens. I think I was physically yelping. It was everything about it was so great.
I did not make the correlation between that and her Saturday Night Live career so far, but now that I'm thinking about it, it just makes sense.
Thank you. With that, I mean, for me, it was so everything about it. I was like, oh, bravo, SNL. This is just, and Jane got to shine as a really talented performer. The character was really funny. The whole bit was funny. She does not want to be in the luge. Her coach wants her to be there. She does not want to be there. And like, no kidding, does not want to be there. She's in physical pain. I have to fight. I have to squash down every survival instinct I have. Like, oh my God. Just chef's kiss.
Demi, what a brilliant catch. The parallel between her time on SNL and this sketch and this character. I agree. I think she was, I don't know that, well, maybe she was sort of pushed into this because she has parents in the business and maybe they were like, okay, Jane, you've got this great opportunity. Just like this poor girl is told she's got this great opportunity to do the luge. Nice. This is why we have 3 distinctive voices on this show, because we each point out things that the others might not see. And then we're all like, oh, no, thank you for pointing that out. So thank you. I love it. I love that about this. I love it. I love it. I love it. And
I like learning new things.
Same here. I am just constantly educated by the two of you, and I am so grateful for it. And now we get into, and we're keeping the momentum going. We're getting into, it's a second go round for this season. Scandinavian movie 2. And this time we have an actual Scandinavian. We have 2 actual Scandinavians because Stellan, the daddy of the bunch, is also a big star and is having another moment right now. I think he just got nominated for an Oscar. Is that what I heard? Oh, Demi's nodding yes. So,
and he won a Golden Globes on the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So apparently I don't know if he was in New York or he came to New York with his son to support him, but I just thought it was lovely that he came and did this sketch, more than one sketch actually. And this is a riot. It is the aforementioned Stellan Skarsgard and his son Alexander, our host, of course, Chloe, Mikey as the director again, and once again, Jane almost stealing the show with her clapboard and her mumbling of various faux Scandinavian and her blonde wig, very fun. Her facial expressions just hilarious. And of course, Chloe and Alexander cracking up and saying there should be a blooper reel for this serious drama and the father is dying. I liked quite a bit better than the first one. And I didn't mind the first one, but this one was really engaging. And having Stellan in the bathtub was just the perfect icing on the cake. I thought this worked really well. It is obvious that this man loves his son and is very proud of the work he's doing. And I can't believe these 2 series actors have such great comedic timing. I mean, that's true talent. Like I said, comedy is hard. It's harder than drama, in my opinion. So very impressed. Chloe getting some good lines here, but again, besides our cameo, which was, the cameos are always kind of the centerpiece, but Jane just stole this with her clapboard. and her facial expressions are just priceless. She is having quite the night.
Yeah, so Stellan won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor for Sentimental Value. What they did with Peter on his episode, they did the pirate convention sketch. Just basically, they invited him to be at this convention because you can say Skarsgard. And I can see why they wouldn't want to repeat that, but bringing this back for Alexander Skarsgard, absolutely perfect. Because I know a lot he's seen as a very serious actor. Like, he was very sexy and intimidating in True Blood, but he can play comedy pretty darn good. Somewhat natural at it, too. Then he got Stellan, not only in the bathtub, but in, like, a full 3-piece suit. So someone on the writing staff has to be an Ingmar Bergman fan, because they're very reminiscent of that. And Jane, because a lot of casts get the clapper roles. I think the last one they really have fun with the whole clapper thing was Bowen Yang in one sketch. I can't remember which one it was. This is one where John Mulaney had made his first on-camera appearance doing the clapper for the yogurt commercial. Kristen playing Jamie Lee Curtis. See, there's your detector. It's not probably the most accurate accent, but every time she came in, it was just extra spark of joy.
This was such an unexpected runner. I did not think we were going to get a second one so soon and with an actual Scandinavian person. And it was just, I love it. I just think the concept is so funny. And yeah, big fan. I really liked it.
I guess we're sticking with this whole immigrant theme tonight, which I guess makes sense because we have another running reoccurring sketch, which isn't a big thing these days, but seems to be making a comeback. We've got Marcelo hosting Immigrant Dad Talk Show number 3. And he brings his neighbor on, who's an immigrant as well, though he doesn't look it. I can't remember how Marcelo phrased that, much funnier than me. But yes. Oh, Deej knows it.
It was, you are how white people draw people they like.
But very funny. Thank you, Deej, for knowing the line, because way funnier than I was thinking, than I could do justice to. So yes. So he introduces his neighbor and they have a discussion about how they punish their kids when they do things wrong. And Alexander talks to his sternly. And of course, Marcelo does something violent to his poor son. And then, of course, Mikey comes back with his son and they do the kissing thing, which is a little played out, but I don't know. Anytime Andrew can be inserted into a sketch, I'm happy because I just love Andrew Dismukes. He always brings a little extra something. And this is just a really hilarious premise. I think it's very appropriate with all the immigrant issues that we are having in the United States. So yeah, I think it's a very funny, satirical way to laugh at some of the things that make our stomachs turn and make us all want to head to the drugstore for some antacid. So this was fun. I enjoyed it, and I wouldn't mind seeing it a 4th time. I liked also that it's usually a nice showcase for the host as well.
This was a natural extension of the whole thing, especially getting someone from a very different country, being Sweden, I guess, in this case. And the difference with the punishments, because there's always that thing that people say is better for someone to be angry and yell at you rather than say, I'm disappointed. To me, is what the whole look into your soul and feel the shame of what you just said. And then you get Stellan coming back with the gut and everything. It's just so awesome how Stellan was open to all this, completely unexpected. I wonder if he'll host an episode next season. Who knows? I would love to see Bill Skarsgard host. I often wondered with Mikey, is like, are they related to the Vogelchecks at all? I mean, not as extreme as the Vogelchecks, but very Vogelcheck coded. Cardi B coming out as Marcelo's wife and threatening with the chancla. All of the classic beats. She was like a nice, perfect addition. There's just so many great things about this. It does play some of the same beats, but having the difference between the Scandinavian and where we had Emil Joachim when he was on it, and it's a great thing with the host. It just works on so many levels, and a good vehicle for Marcelo as well.
No, I love Cardi B coming out. Again, unexpected runner. Very welcome. Kind of expected because I done it before. But Cardi B coming out, she is, on Wikipedia says she's American and Dominican. So her coming out and like swearing in Spanish and threatening to use the chancla, that was so funny. It's such a delight. I love it. I love it when they fold in a musical guest into a sketch. It doesn't always happen, not to be expected, but it was such a treat to see that. It's such a perfect little addition to just round that sketch out. Very, very nice.
The next pre-tape number 2, the Viking Raid. And Alexander gets to be the centerpiece here, feeling left out. He's left out of the Viking cliques. It's seeming cliquey and he doesn't fit in. And they all assure him, and we've got a great bunch here. Jadge, Andrew, Chloe, Ben, Mikey, and Jeremy, all assuring Alexander that he is indeed wonderful and that they're all jealous of him. This was a lot of fun. Not my favorite of the night, but, had to throw in a Viking sketch, right, to keep with the theme. So, yeah, a lot of fun. Not too much else to say.
Definitely a tribute to production value. Everything from art direction, the costume, the makeup. Everyone was acting their butts off. And the whole interplay of with Alexander's Viking being so sad and everyone trying to prop him up. Chloe Fineman, oh my god, she looks so good in this. Ben was looking so hot in this, like, put people to Viking thing. Jeremy, there is the poor Christian. The Christian is right. Hey, this can happen sometimes, can't it? And then the hairstyle at the end. But I've watched this a couple times, and something out of left field for what the kind of environment they're in, but it just works so well.
For me, this was almost reminiscent of the sketch from last week about the the Dune-like emperor. The production value very much reminded me of that. I think my favorite thing about this was like, oh, I had a rune of you in my bedroom. Like, oh, accurate thing to like, I had a not a poster, a rune, because of course it's like ancient Scandinavian. Yeah, like do the but then he does the pose and it's like, and they're all like, ah. It was really cute. I thought was those his real abs? What was did you guys happen to catch the abs on that guy, or
for Alexander?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, he's got abs. I mean, he played Tarzan. He's got abs.
Wow. So, all right.
Okay, and now let's talk about the two musical performances by the aforementioned Miss Cardi B. I mean, I was not the biggest fan of Cardi when she arrived on the scene because I'm a snob about my hip hop women. But she has really grown up. And this first performance, I mean, I love that we're sticking with the different ethnocentric. We get the Scandinavian, and then we do a 180, and we get her roots, her Dominican roots, and she does Bodega Baddie. I love her outfit and the dancing and the hair and everything. This Bodega Baddie was just great. I really like the dancing. And all right, we talk about breakneck flow. Holy shit. She is so freaking fast. And you can mostly understand her. I really enjoyed the first performance. Her time was typical Cardi B in her sexy outfit and kind of, seen it before. Still great. Again, her flow cannot be denied. She is excellent, and she says a lot of important things. And she's spoken out on a lot of topics. She's very outspoken, and she's very smart. So, yeah, I enjoyed both performances. I love the first one. I just thought it was so much fun.
I like the different energies that the set had, because the first one for Bodega Baddie is very much like backyard family party kind of thing with the lights and everything, and then just the start into the stage and the dancers for the second one. I enjoyed both performances, especially the first one, just nice, energetic, colorful costumes, and the band and everything, and her backup dancers really it's a great visual and a great song. I even love the second one because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the parlance is body yaddy yaddy. Oh my god, body yaddy yaddy, Miss Cardi B. Baby got back and front. But one thing I found interesting is both times that Alexander introduced the musical guest, he was wearing a robe, an SNL robe. It's not often that usually either like costume he may have just had or just in something very simple, but it was interesting they did the robe both times.
That is interesting, Deej. I would like to point out, for the record, that Cardi B had her fourth child in November, and like unreal. She's about to go on her tour. I bought her album on red vinyl, almost 100% because of her rollout. She was going on subway cars selling her album, like she was, those guys on the subway that sell candy bars to like those kids that are like trying to raise money for themselves. And she was doing that with her album. And she had like, if you've ever been out like on a city by the subway grate or whatever, they'll have like cloth on the ground. Let me selling like a lot of times like knockoff like watches or wallets or whatever. And she was doing that with her album, her CDs and her vinyl. And she was like, hello, I'm just trying to get ahead. I'm just trying to make a deal, guys. I got some really good products. And it was so funny and so authentic to like the city guys that do that stuff, that I was like, oh, I'm pre-ordering her vinyl right now. I need to have this because the strength of that alone is so funny. So the fact that she did a sketch and then she came out in a completely different outfit and did Bodega Baddie, which is a banger, and like not even, it's like 2.5 minutes. And then she did like a bejeweled cat suit for everything. I don't know if you've seen Cardi B at the Met Gala, but oh my God, she's been my favorite guest at the Met Gala more than once. Like she went as Karl Lagerfeld, like last, and she's gone at like Terry Mugler, I think, completely in a dress made of like really like gold chains. Like she's such a fashionista. I'm so glad that she's getting this kind of platform, and she's on SNL and just like doing it. And I just think she's great. So really happy to see all of it.
And let's continue the festive vibe behind the Weekend Update desk with Colin and Michael firing their usual array of jokes. Lots of Minnesota discussion tonight, and a really good Colin joke that I can't quite remember, but it was very funny. And Colin is always, why does he always look surprised? He knows it's coming, but somehow he always looks offended. It just kills me. So, I mean, he just does offended better than anybody in comedy. Colin does offended so well. And I think that's just because he gets a lot of practice, because everybody's always criticizing him because he has a very punchable face. So this was a great Weekend Update for crashing on Colin. I really enjoyed the jokes. None of them are sticking out at me, but I'm bad with recall of all the jokes. But I enjoyed the whole back and forth. And of course, Michael Che is his own brand of humor. And I love how it juxtaposes with Colin's constant self-deprecation. I just think the two of them are perfect. I mean, there's a reason they've been on here for 12 years. There's a reason they were co-head writers. I mean, they work brilliantly together. And then my favorite part, this was the 1,000th episode, and I thought there was a lot of callbacks to bits that have been very popular in the past. And a popular bit used to be on location correspondence. And I believe they've had weather correspondence throughout the years. So to give Sarah this position, I hope she'll be back doing it. And there she is doing what she does best again, cracking on Colin. Somehow she fits it into her weather report. And then she shows the skimpy dress that he made her wear to do the weather. I love Sarah. And I love when she roast Jost, my favorite thing. So this was brilliant. Absolutely adored it. And then I thought it couldn't get better. And who do they bring on? I've decided to dub them A Squared, because it's Andrew and Ashley as the couple that just hooked up talking about the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to let Deej continue, because I know that she will do justice far more than I can to this brilliance. Ashley and Andrew, just terrific.
Sorry, don't sell yourself short, my girl. Please, you are awesome. We're both old Gen X broads, and so do not ever say that you don't put good things out there, because you do. I will not have you talking about yourself like that ever again. Do not do that.
Deal.
Because we love you. Thank you. Okay, I can't remember which joke it was, but when Colin had commented on one of Michael Che's joke. Oh, and that's the thinker. The last person to be a weather correspondent for SNL Weekend Update was Dawn Lazarus, as played by Vanessa Bayer. Sarah carrying on in that fine tradition. One bit of when she mentions the crab boil in her pants, and then Colin with a knife and fork and the bib afterwards. He's just game for anything. I think he knows that people find this funny, so he's just gonna go for it. Why not? The chemistry between Ashley and Andrew, with the two people that hooked up, continues to be electric. These guys can come on and comment on any time, and how they always correlate, use the language of what they're talking about to correlate between what the relationship they have. Pretty sure Andrew Disnukes is married, but I almost wish they were a real couple. But there'll be the highs, you have the lows about the ring, the argument about the ring, and these two together are just magical. And I love these two correspondents because they play that awkwardness of the hookup and wanting to do more so well. correspondents were on fire tonight.
My favorite thing about a Jost roast is how complex the premise is. Oh, wow, we're just going to go. And you're like, oh, it's a Jost roast. To me, that's the funniest part. The more elaborate, the more effort Sarah puts into roasting him, whether it's like from a second location or it's in full squirrel makeup costume. Like, the more effort they put into it, that's just going to turn into a sticky Jost roast. That to me has become the funniest part. Oh my God. Ashley and Andrew, fan service, fantastic. Just everything. It's like, oh my God, like, can they be nominated for an Emmy for this? This is great. Just so delicious. Making another analogy with the Super Bowl teams. Just great. I don't remember Shay's joke, but that was a thinker. But I remember thinking, like, that was a thinker.
I can't believe I forgot this. Jack McBrayer.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That was so beautiful, and we're pretty sure he was playing his character for 30 Rock.
Yeah, that was great. That he popped up on the skating rink to like tell her. I don't forget what he told her, but it was giving her directions somewhere.
Jack McBrayer, he's just so lovable, and he that's very well plus what he did with Wreck-It Ralph. He was also in the movie They Came Together, the romantic comedy stand-up that Polar and Rudd did with Bill Hader and a bunch of other SNL and other comedy people.
Yeah, he did. He was in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and I remember I first saw him because he was an intern on Conan, and he would do like sketches. I like the one I remember. He played like he played a staffer that was partying on a Tuesday night, and like he was in a bar, like playing Funky Cole Medina, doing shots by himself. And I was like 11 years old or 12 or something, and I was like, first of all, I thought he was really cute, and second of all, I was like, wow, that's depressing. But it was
when I can, as much as possible, I watched That Weekend SNL live streams, which were on Thursdays and Sundays, and they had Jack McBrayer did a series of him and brief series with Jack and Triumph, the insult comic dog, on those live streams, and to just have you the sweet Jack, and then you got Triumph playing off of each other. Just beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
Not a stumble yet. I don't think we'll see if we have any, because we're gonna move along to After Update, and we've got live sketch number 4, Playdate. Anytime you get a host, especially a very tall, kind of gawky host. The last time I really remember this, and I've seen the sketch recently, so maybe that's why it's in my head, but John Malkovich, who isn't as tall, but enough, he's definitely physically imposing. He did that Judy Blume sketch, and I feel like they could have been related.
Yes. That was a classic, and there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff you see in the Saturday Night documentary, because that entire thing was based around that episode. The Last Works, Judy Blume, Judy Blume, The Last Works.
And they were in equally hideous pink outfits with bad blonde wigs. So the premise here is he's new, and his name is Agnes, and his mom is Ashley, and Ashley, like a good mom, has gotten the neighborhood girls to come over for a play date, which is the name of the sketch. And it's Alexander with Chloe, Veronica, Sarah, just killing it. Sarah's having a night too. This was a great night for the ladies, and this sketch was a huge showcase. Jane is in this one as well with some great lines. She has the line that we're all probably going to mention. Every time they mention something that Agnes is not familiar with, like Harry Styles or Bluey, Agnes goes nuts. And so Jane just says, don't ask her about things. Just killing it tonight, that Jane. And of Sarah, very funny here too, because she's sort of the mean girl. And so Agnes keeps throwing her through the window. And that last one where she comes in with the pizza and she doesn't even get to enter, and Agnes just hauls her out. Sarah is replaced by Agnes, and they're all doing the TikTok dance. Love this. Such a perfect After Update sketch. So silly. Alexander just does great here. But again, this is all about Jane and Sarah. I love them both in this, and just love seeing this showcase for the ladies. It was so good. Oh, Veronica was in this too. I believe I missed that. Every single one of the women is just perfect here. Ashley has the put upon mother who just wants to help her awkward daughter. And everybody is on point here. Sarah as the mean girl, and Veronica and Chloe as the hangers on. So yes, a big hit for me. I for an after update sketch, this was quite excellent.
Yeah, the delivery of stop asking her if she knows things. Absolute perfection on her part. And there's other lines, her general acting throughout the whole thing was pretty darn good too. Lots of good dummy work going on. Just they're very seamless in how they did the toss over. And just proof out when you got a host that just gets into it. I mean, there's some talk online or maybe on the Hot Tech Show. I can't remember because I just listened to it this afternoon about how they felt it was not very nice to put him in that kind of dress. But it's like if they're going for a shy and nice, but then gets really angry, almost like a roid rage, it works. And Alexander was great in it, and he played awkward very well. He played all his beats, and just he's willing to go and do that. Just makes him an awesome host who I would like to see host again. All the ladies were just so good. I love that a lot of the group lady sketches, because there was all this concern about there wasn't very many new women coming on the show, but the women that they have there are just doing great stuff, and you can definitely tell that they support each other. It wasn't the funniest sketch of the night, but it was still, I enjoyed it just for the interactions and just how game Alexander was.
Oh, exactly. That's what stuck out to me immediately. Like, wow, he's so game. He's just really like here to be here. And then Jane, her lines were great. Dummy work. I really liked it.
Well, this was probably the only, I won't say stumble, but probably my least favorite of the night. And it was not the fault of anyone in the sketch. I feel like the writing was a little predictable. This was the Tarzan sketch where he's breaking up with Jane. And this is Alexander and Sarah with a little bit of a pop in from Keenan with his leopard, which is actually my favorite part, as the moving leopard and son or something like that. Very funny. This was fine. Nothing special. I think this was a callback to the fact that Alexander has played Tarzan. So that did make sense. And Sarah and comments about Sarah's lack of chest area. I thought that was funny. I think it's great that Sarah owns that she's, pretty flat chested, and that's okay. She's still a beautiful woman, and she's still awesome. And I just love that she owns her physical being. She's not traditionally beautiful, but she's so fantastic and so gorgeous in her own way. And I love her fashion sense. I have to go back and talk about that eggs and bacon coat that she wore in the weather segment, because I'm going to find it and I'm going to have it because I really liked it. So yeah, I thought she's always fun, and Alexander does his best here. I just feel like the writing was a little meh, but still not bad.
I think I liked it better than you did, not only because it calls back to the fact that he was Tarzan in the 2006 film. It reminds me of the musical Six. So for me, it had a lot of Six energy, because you have the setting of the Tarzan, or the setting of Tudor England, the Six Wives of Henry, and how they're putting in modern terms like we're gonna find out how we got unfriended. You said that I tricked ya, 'cause I didn't look like my profile picture. It was kind of that juxtaposition between the, like, why is she here in the jungle serving bugs in the mud when she can be back in England or Long Island. Personally, I liked the writing on it. I thought it was a nice little putting modern words and little things with Tarzan saying, like, Tarzan may be dumb, but he not that dumb.
I remember when the animated film came out in the 90s, I think, and I was just or the late 90s, and so that's what I saw, but I was a little bit too old for that movie, but I did think that they got Sarah's costume was a direct mimic of that, which I appreciated very much, and I appreciated that he swung in on a rope, which I think added a lot of energy to the whole piece, and I don't know how they did that, but that was really cool. And then the idea that they're actually like a toxic couple, he doesn't really want to be in it anymore, because she gave up everything to like stay in the jungle with him and nobody's like coming after her was actually not haha funny, but really funny. And then Keenan, I'm so glad they put Keenan in this. I was glad to see him. And I thought the costume work was like way impressive.
Well, anytime they throw in a kitty, of course, I, as a cat lady, am gonna love it. And it was an orange kitty, and it was so cute. They had said on the Hot Tech Show that part was actually supposed to be longer, but somehow got cut. And just the things that you smell stinkily. That's a different term that I've ever heard, but nice little orange tabby cat. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. I want to hug him and love him. Not that I don't love my boy Bazinga. He's a tuxedo cat. And he's awesome, but I do have a soft spot for ginger cats.
Well, we got our last live sketch, our last sketch of the night, actually. Funny Boyfriend. And this is Alexander, Sarah, Judge, Andrew, Ashley, and Veronica. And Sarah is introducing her boyfriend. And he is charming everybody with all of his jokes. And then we come to find he's been reading them off of Cards Against Humanity because he feels he's too normal. And this was a perfect 10-1. And it also, I mean, I bet you this happens where they want to impress the friends so much that they have notes of things to say because you're nervous when you're meeting your significant other's friends. That's a big deal. I remember meeting my now husband, then boyfriend's friends, and I was very nervous about it. So this made perfect sense and was very funny when the cards went flying all over the place. Alexander is so good with physical comedy for a serious actor. He's done a show called Murderbot that my brother-in-law was kind enough to give us the Apple password. So we've been watching, and we binged the whole thing, and that is Alexander, and he's really funny in that. So highly recommended. I don't know how much buzz it's got, but it was very funny. And it's also him. He's playing a robot, a humanoid robot hybrid. And he's really very physical there. And he takes that into this sketch and is just so funny here, trying so hard to impress. And I love Sarah as the put upon girlfriend. And then the others are a perfect ensemble. Just completely disgusted with him. They did think he was awfully funny, and the jokes were ridiculous. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. Very fun way to end the night.
And I'm quite sure they're reading things off of actual cards of Humanity card, but just you definitely tell from the beginning that they were telegraphing something because this jacket was very, very big for even for someone of his frame. Just the explosion of all the cards, and the one part you mentioned, Sherry, when the cards just go poof. So when the backstage crew was having a lot of fun with that, I think. There's the one sketch that didn't quite work as well for me, so being in the 10-1 spot did make sense. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't my favorite. There's so many other things that have eclipsed it.
All right, millennial here. So I started seeing in Reddit, like, they're like, this is so millennial coded. I'm like, hey. But I was like, I thought it was the funniest effing thing. I could not contain myself with how funny this was because Cards Against Humanity is I guess it's a millennial thing, but it's like a card game where you have to like, it's like Mad Libs, but some of it's like kind of dirty, and like if you play it, it's supposed to be like a sober, fun game. Like, because I don't think I ever went to a party when they were playing that and people were drinking, and like people are like, oh my god, you're so bad. So it's like kind of irritating. Like, I've never wanted to play it. I don't like it. It's like, what? Well, I guess that's funny. So the fact that he had all these cards in his jacket to make him cool when it's like not a cool game was killing me. And then the physical comedy of like all the cards coming out when like none of that was even about 3 decks. That very notion of that is insane. Like, nobody should have any decks. Like, it's not, we don't need it. It's fine. Put them away. So the fact that he wanted to use them to be cool, and the fact that the other people at the party were like, because when you said that, it was so funny. I almost pooped my pants. And like, they just kept ratcheting it up to like, they were reacting like, oh, I thought you were cool and you were funny. And like, they were so, it was I don't understand why it's not the most popular sketch ever, but like, I guess it is like kind of a niche thing. And Because someone else on Reddit was saying like, "Oh, this is for me. Like, I'm a millennial and I hate cards against humanity." I'm like, "Oh my god, that's me. That's me." And that's why this is so funny. Because why would you pick that to look cool? They're not cool. So it was just very satisfying and gratifying for someone that's like grown up around Cards Against Humanity for adults, and it's like, oh my god, okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Cards Against Humanity. I got the big black box. If you made sure to get the Canadian edition, and I had a lot of fun with it when it was around. So, but then again, I'm old and ornery, so we have a bit of a different
It's very fun.
And well, the whole thing is, you have the one MasterCard. Everyone has cards in their thing to figure out, and the person who was reading the card votes on which is the best response, and whoever has the most cards at the end of the night wins. So yeah, it can get pretty bad in a lot of cases, but it's just trying to put things together. This is wrong, but it just the things together so funny.
It's a great game, just that people that always wanted to play are people that I don't know that well. Oh, like, you're so bad. Like, someone's mom is always a part of it. And I guess it's more the people that I've like played it with. It's like, it's very much like we don't know what to do with these adults, so let's play Cards Against Humanity. But I've never had a bad time. I just thought it was such a very, very funny point of reference.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the episode. I'm glad that they didn't cut off Alexander Skarsgard's goodnights because I thought they were quite nice. And I really liked his pink pajama outfit that he was rocking at the end there. I really thought that was a cute little way to say goodnight. He was in his pajamas and ready to head to bed. Maybe he didn't go to the after party. Who knows? But yeah, very fun. And I also love the bumper, which was an actual card from one of the photos she did for one of her episodes. She was in season 16 and 18 as a host, part of the legacy of SNL. She was one of those cast members. She was there for a week and ran away during the Eversol years. She was so disgusted by, I think, was it Michael? No.
She has debunked that in interviews. What happened is she accepted the role, accepted Saturday Night Live, and SCTV wasn't sure if they got the renewal, and she just wanted to go back to SCTV to finish things up. But it did give us Robin Duke. So there's some good that came out of it. And I get a lot of Catherine O'Hara vibes from Ashley. I just think I have this weird thing like, it's very tragic that she died because Catherine O'Hara I've been a fan of for years. I grew up with SCTV. Schitt's Creek. Oh my god, what a fabulous series. I mean, she was very much a big part of my childhood. All the any extra vibes and talent went from Catherine, directed and Ashley. They're very much kind of coded the same. And I couldn't figure out what exactly the print was on the suit she was wearing. It was an I Love New York, I guess, kind of jogger. I guess he's just a guy that likes to be comfortable because, like, when he was in the robe for the musical guest introductions.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of the episode and the ratings. And I know I picked the rating item last week, so which of you ladies would like to pick it this week, and then I can give my rating?
I was gonna say the unit should be packs of Cards Against Humanity.
I love it. I love it.
I was thinking of losers.
Well, I will start us off. I thought this was a fabulous episode, and I'm going to give it 7.5 Cards of Humanity packs. I think this was very fun. I thought Alexander was an excellent host. I hope he comes back. How wonderful to have his dad there and Pete Davidson and a Cardi cameo, complete with curlers, and 2 great musical performances by Cardi. This was an absolute treat and a nice way to take us into a big break. 7.5 packs of Cards Against Humanity for me.
I'm going higher. I'm going 9. 9 expansions of Cards of Humanity for me, because after last week, this was the show that we needed to go into the big Olympic break. It was just really, really one of the best episodes of the season so far, I believe.
I mean, I was gonna, I think I said this on the Hot Take show as well, but I gotta go 9 expansion packs of Cards Against Humanity. I just thought the host was game. but he wasn't corny. He truly gave to the sketch. He seemed really he did a lot of different roles. Some of that was just like serving the sketch. Cardi B was great. We had another Skarsgård cameo. We had a Pete Davidson cameo, Jack McBrayer cameo, a Catherine O'Hara tribute. If I didn't already get my shirt from the Cher and Ariana Grande episode, then I would have gotten this one. But just a great episode all around. I thought it was just great. 9 for me.
So now we go into 3 weeks of SNL limbo, but we do have one episode in the can, which we're going to start editing soon. So we're back to the series of our favorite female musical guests. The next episode will be from 2010 to 2020, and then 2020 to current. 70s and the 80s, which is one I'm looking forward to. Jennifer, who is absolutely fabulous guest that I would definitely want to have on again. We are still going to be putting out some content. After we get these 2 other episodes off, I'd like to take a week off. Before we close this up, anything other from our other ladies?
I want to plug a couple of podcasts that we've been lucky enough to be a part of. Deeja's going to be on soon. She hasn't made her appearance yet, but she will be on, and we're talking about Cover Wars. We had Ajax and Seth on not too long ago, and they returned the favor. I got to speak recently about Walk This Way, and we've 20 covers and got it down to our 3 favorites. It was an absolute blast. And then my wonderful co-lady, Miss Demi, was just on, and I'm going to let her talk a little bit about her bit, and it was so much fun. And I just want to say one more podcast that I'm going to be on. I just recorded Pop Culture 5. We're doing MTV videos from the 80s, since MTV is getting ready to depart, or they did depart. And that was great fun too, with Thomas Senna and Jeremy Dove.
We did Make and Believe, which is an old country western song from the 50s. But I know it because it's been covered by Social Distortion and Bullbeat. And Ajax found like 20 covers for us to rank. And oh my God, it was just such a great experience talking about music with them. And yeah, MTV Europe is shutting down. MTV America it still exists. But MTV Europe, but I guess somebody copied everything to a hard drive or something, I don't know, but man, if MTV just kept playing music, who knows what would happen in this world. But yes, it was great fun, Sherry. Cover Wars. Sorry, it was, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up.
I'll be recording my episode on the 22nd of February, and we are going to be discussing Billy Joel's New York State of Mind. Because I am a huge Billy Joel fan. Absolute best album is The Nylon Curtain. It's one I play a lot of. I've seen him live twice. Once on the Bridge Tour, another time when he was touring with Elton John. Very much looking forward to recording an episode because those 2 guys are awesome. And I still want to be on Pop Culture 5. I still want to be on there. But I think that concludes our night. Thank you, ladies, for coming back to talk about the things we talk about because it's been a lot of fun. And even though things in the world may seem bleak, you got to get out and find the funny.
Funny as hope.
Saturday Night Ladies is a presentation of Wacky Notion Productions. Hosted by Deej Behrens, Shari Fesco, and Demi Constantine. Recorded and edited by Deej Behrens. Off-week show research by Shari Fesco. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, just email SaturdayNightLadies1978@gmail.com. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.